Yesterday, a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged, and you know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and close its way under your skin. Just got foul from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit. That good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Friday and the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles, and this is Jones sitting right next to me. Good-looking guy there with the nice yellow hat.
Yeah.
Spring, right? Spring flowers.
Purple and gold today.
Purple and gold today.
Yeah.
Celebratory.
Yep. There's Uncle Pete.
Yeah. Welcome in.
Throw that right in your Earl and be part of this wonderful,
Unique, interesting. There's a lot of different adjectives we could probably use to describe ourselves in the show, but just a show of two guys kind of hanging out, talking about life, what's going on, what's not going on, what's in your mind, that type of thing. Anything from peanut butter to politics, but no politics, because we know how that all ends, right? I mean, it's just crazy.
That's right.
So-
Shout out to our good friends right over my shoulder, Natural Therapy Wellness Center.
Oh, they left.
www.mchenrymassage.com. Huge supporter of the station. Go get a massage. It'll be great. And our good friends at JH Events and Flowers. $5 Friday today. Stop by either of their locations, one in Fox Lake or one in McHenry, and get a $5 bouquet of flowers.
Yeah,
Fresh
great.
cut.
Yeah, great people, great place.
Yeah.
And the J8, as far as massages, top notch stuff.
Best of the
You
Fox.
leave there, best of the Fox
Best
for a
of
number
Fox,
of years.
year after year after year.
Yeah, you leave there wanting to go back to sleep.
Yeah,
Or depending on
what
what
stressed, you'll feel blessed when you leave there.
and depending on what massage you get, you might be hurting a little bit,
That's
because
right.
you get that deep tissue, really take care of you.
That's right. Today, mirror on the wall. Who's looking back at you?
I don't have a mirror in my house, so I don't know.
You're a vampire, maybe. So here's a topic that I wanted to talk about. Next week, we'll finish this topic with our good friend Matt Barafato, the Purpose Hunter. We've had him on a couple of different shows. Great guy. So here's the deal. The question is, when you look in the mirror, who do you see, or who's looking back at you? Is it the person you thought you would be? Is it the person your 6-year-old self thought you would be? Are you unrecognizable to yourself?
I'm going to answer that question with a yes, and probably 6 more yeses, right? Like for me, when I'm looking in the mirror, it honestly depends on my day, my week, what's going on with just everything in my life. My perception when I look in that mirror, it's kind of like if I had a good day, bad day, it can be my own, my best supporter or my worst critic, like I said, depending on the day and depending like in the morning time or at the end of the day. I mean, there's so many different criteria, but the mirror in some ways is, I don't want to say it's scary, but I mean, it's when you say you look into a person's eyes, it's the window to their soul, right? Well, now when you're looking into your own window of your soul, right, you holding yourself accountable, it's it really does make you think, right? And I mean, but like I say, for me, it's just depends on the day what I see back. I mean, how about you? I mean, what's on your thoughts? Because this is one that you kind of really threw back up at us.
Well, Don, I'm glad that you were in spitting distance. Sorry you couldn't make it in this morning.
That's right. Good morning.
From Lake Zurich, but glad you tuned in a little bit. And Drew Cappuccino says, love the mirror conversation.
Good morning, Lisa.
And Lisa says, good morning. So if I look in the mirror, I don't recognize and don't really know who's looking back at me. right? If I were to say, as my 6-year-old self would look in the mirror, is this the guy that I thought I would be? Is this the guy that I thought I would see? And the answer to that is absolutely no. But I think that a lot of the problems in the world is that, good morning, Jen. A lot of the problems in this world is that people are confused and try to make the person in the mirror believe that there's something they're not seeing.
What do you mean by there's something that they're not seeing?
Yeah. So like when I look in the mirror,
yeah,
this is not, from my 6-year-old self, or what Lisa would say, 9 years old, I think is the age, but this is not at all who I
envisioned being or
dreamed of, envisioned of, whatever. Right. And I think too many people, and here's the issue, too many people are worried about issues, and they try to make believe the person in the mirror is something or someone they're not. Right. You're like, hey, it depends what kind of day I am. You're trying to talk yourself, I think. All right. I'm just going to say,
no,
not
out
you,
there.
not you. I'm just, what I'm saying is, because I don't know, I've never stand naked next to you in a mirror. Right.
Allegedly.
Well,
no, I mean, right. Go ahead, hit me hard,
right.
Because this is what I love about us.
We're worried about the issues in life. We're worried about whatever. But when I look in the mirror, never did I, I'm unrecognizable, the guy that's staring back at me. Right. But I don't try to convince myself that I'm that guy staring back at me, or I'm not trying to convince the guy in the mirror that's me either. Right. And I there's been twists, there's been turns, right? And when people look in the mirror, sometimes I see who you think I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or my dad, or my brothers, or who maybe my 6-year-old self thought I was supposed to be, and I try to make that image into something that it's not, and I force myself to believe perhaps something that I'm not. That's why I think a lot of people say, hey, count your blessings or whatever, because it makes you look at what you have instead of look at what you think thought you should be. Or,
what you should have or what you think you need, right? Yeah. I mean, counting your blessings for sure. But I mean, when you look, like for me, I look in the mirror and sometimes I'll be like, am I perceiving myself, or, how are other people perceiving me based on what I'm seeing? Right. Like when you talk about that, and that's why I kind of said, depends on the day, right? There's some days I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, I had a great day, or, great week, whatever. And I'm just feeling pumped, and I'm looking and, hey, good looking dude, looking back at, kicking ass, taking names, doing what people should be, being, as I always say, the normal human being. Right. Yeah. And there's other days I look in the mirror and go, boy, you're a fucking idiot. Like, what were you thinking? You know what I mean? And I get so down on myself because, as obviously we've talked about many times, we are our own worst critic. And when I look sometimes in that mirror, it's like, ooh, what am I looking back? Am I who I wanted to be? I don't think anybody, but it's probably most of us are not what we thought we were going to be growing up, right? I mean, it's one of those childhood dreams, fantasies, so to speak, that we might have grown up with. But it
brings to mind the old SNL skit, "Doggone it, people love
people." Yeah.
Now, Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
Is that what it is, Jack? Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's just day by day, it's one of those things you look in and, your perception changes, even though you're still the same person, but you're easier, harder, depending on the day. And when I look at it, I go, it's one of those things. It's, how do I feel about myself? But then because of the way the world is and society and stuff, it's also, well, how does other people feel about me? And that sucks, because when that starts to creep into your life,
start seeing other people in the mirror behind you going, man,
not necessarily in the mirror, but I mean, it's one of those things going, how do people perceive me? Right. How do I come off to
so
people?
You're seeing a lot of, you're trying to look through other people's eyes in the mirror.
Some days, depending on, and that's horrible, and that's not good, right? And I catch myself. I don't think I'm the only one with that, for sure.
You're probably not. No. Lisa says, too many people painted a picture a long time ago of what they and their life would look like and refused to let it go. So rather than accept and see life as life, they fight proving the old view. Interestingly enough, on Living Outside the Box this Sunday is showing an inner child decisions that you still hold. Right. Shayna, good morning, sis. I never thought about what I wanted to be, and now I feel awkward. Thanks, 216. That's what we're here for on Friday morning on the grounds.
That's what we're doing, trying to make you think outside the box, right?
So, I mean, to me, I mean, and it's tough, right? Because I tried, and I've shared this before, is I try to look in the mirror at the end of every day and go, good day. You know, you won the day. Good work, right? But I say this jokingly, is at that 6-year-old self. Now when I get out of the shower, of course, bathrooms always have mirrors when you get out of the shower. It's like I'm at the YMCA and there's an old wrinkly gray man standing there naked in the locker room looking back at me, right? Because in my mind, I'm not a fat, out of shape, old, wrinkly ass man.
Yeah. Oh, right? Yeah. I mean, we talk about that a lot.
So that's why I say I don't recognize the person in the mirror. Right.
You don't recognize.
I don't know who's looking back at me.
You don't recognize him because of the mental state that you're in. Like, because for me, when people talk about this, I'm like, I'm the eternal 19-year-old in my brain until I look in that mirror. And then it's like, oh, damn, who's looking back at me? It's not the guy that I feel in my head. Right. And then I get brought back
down. So your
back
mental age is 19.
I mean, some days, right. But yeah, I'm still very much
probably the wrong.
It's probably, yeah. Right. But yeah, I'm still very much of a young at heart. You know, I'm still very, I try in some ways to still be the simplistic that I was, or that we as people would have been back in those days, right? A simpler time. But then you look in the mirror and it's like, okay, well, that's not me. And like Lisa kind of brought up in her thing, right? You have this dream as a kid or whatever of what things lead to look like. And you're holding on to it so tightly because like, that's the only way that your life can go. And then you look in the mirror, like you said, you see an old wrinkly, which you're not old, you're not wrinkly. Yeah, you got belly, but that's part of life, right?
I'm 55.
But you are who you are, and you're a great freaking person, right? So
Shayna says, I look in the mirror and the combo is like, no, that's a face that's had some fun. Lisa says, some would say, Kent, that is because you resonate with your spirit because your physical is just a vehicle. Well, I wish I would have picked a faster vehicle. More streamlined, perhaps. Something. Give me something in a Volkswagen bus. Thank you.
So the nice thing is you can change it. Well, if you don't like what you don't see, and that's the beautiful thing.
Put a V8 in there, right?
No, but you can change what you see in that mirror. You can change it. It's not easy, but you can change it. With you're looking at yourself, and there's certain things that you don't like. Certain things. There's certain things you can't change.
I would still. I'm 55. I would still be that old. It doesn't matter. I mean, I could have a 6-pack, be chiseled, and look great. But I'd still be like, hey, there's an old fucking naked man looking at me.
Yeah, but it's a great person looking at you. So
I'm so grateful that the mirrors are usually fogged up when I get out of the shower.
I'm glad you said that, Tom. That's what I was going to say. I don't turn the fan on. That way it looks good getting up.
Ice baths. We got to, right?
Ice plunge.
Oh, we got to take that.
Polar plunges.
So, yeah, it's just this. I think it's just a neat concept because you see somebody different on an hourly or maybe a daily basis in that mirror.
Not that I see someone different. It's I'm seeing myself, but there's different. I don't want to say different modes, but like I had a bad day, so when I have a bad day, I look a little bit more down on myself and a little bit harder on myself, right? So I'm more critical of myself if I've had a bad day. So I look and I don't see that great person that, you know, I want to be or am trying to, I don't want to say trying to be
your 19-year-old self. So.
Right. But I mean, I always am who I am. I love who I am, but there's days that I might not be proud of who I am. And so it makes me look at myself a little bit differently and rethink things and go, you could have done that differently, or, you know, kind of rethink the day and say, why did you do that? What motivated you to do that? I mean, no, down deep in my heart, I am who I am. I love myself, but
all right, Papa, I am who I am.
I am who I am, you know, but I mean, it does change a little bit during different times and how I'm feeling. And I think that would be fairly normal for a lot of people. I mean, if you're in a great upbeat mood, you look in the mirror, it's, you know, things are good, things are rosy, you're happy, or you're a little bit, give yourself a little bit more grace. If things are down, you're going to beat yourself up a little bit more, you know, be a little bit harder on yourself and maybe try to change why you're upset with yourself, type of thing. But it's tough sometimes. I mean, really just to sit there and stare at yourself in the mirror sometimes can really evoke some emotions that are good.
Lisa says the mental flex of the people pleaser is trying to see life from so many views and create new pictures several times a day. And that's what I'm saying is whose eyes are you looking through in that mirror, right? And that's why I say to Scott, you know, did I please enough people or whatever? And how many people are in the mirror looking back at you? Must be a lot, right? A somewhat common experience for me, Shana says, is hearing how many people thought I was mean before they spent time with me. Throws me a little. People are a mirror of sorts. Yes. And growing up and still today, I say, you either love me or think I'm a dick.
Well, yeah, same. I think, yeah, love me or hate me.
There's no in between, right? Yeah. You're like, yeah, I could put up with it. Nope, that guy's a dick. Or I like him.
Right.
And that's because I was the same way. I've never been afraid to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. I've never been afraid to say the right thing at the wrong time. I've never been afraid to say anything, right? I speak my mind. That's what I've always done. I've always been known as the guy who says the words that people think.
Yeah. And that's
I'm afraid of that shit. Right?
And that's one reason that you and I get along so well, right? Because we're just who we are.
I thought you were just using me.
Well, I am, but you know, I'm going to be on the famous world stage. But you know, that's why when you say, you know, where we agree on, you know, people either love me or hate me, right? I mean, I say how I feel and who I am.
You probably use the other way around. Though.
Yeah, right.
People
right.
either
hate you or love me.
No, I just said it. Okay.
No,
it's right.
But I mean, for me, life's too short to, you know, to be non-authentic, right? Like, I don't ever mean to harm somebody by what I say. If it does, I'm sorry, but this is how I feel, right? And if you don't, ooh, that's hot.
Oh, you're hot there for a minute.
And woo, you know, and I don't do it on purpose, but I do say how I feel because if I'm not really being true to myself, right? And if I don't like the person, they don't like me, then it's not meant to happen, right? You're not meant to, you know, spend any more time with that individual.
Shana says, she says, that's what I like about you two personalities in conversation. Yes.
The fact that we're just two wild and crazy guys.
So he says, why do you apologize before saying it? Lisa asks.
Well, I guess it's just maybe because I've been conditioned to say I'm sorry if you don't like it, you know, because I really deep down inside, I'm not sorry. I just, I don't ever mean to offend people. Because like, I think we were talking about this last week. If I want to offend you, I'll offend you. I'll just straight out, you know, what I say is what I mean. If I offended you and you feel that way, I'm sorry, but it wasn't meant to be. But because you'll know if I'm pissed off or I want to offend you, I'll just straight out say it. You know, like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to say you're a fucking dick or whatever this may be. Right.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to play those games. I'm not a telephone guy. I'm not a gossip guy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't deal with that stuff. So I'm very, as well as you, you know, you'll speak your mind. This is just the way it is, you know, and if you don't like me, well, then don't come to my house. You know, don't invite me to brunch.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that. I can look myself in the mirror at the end of a day and feel and I'm okay with that because I'm being true to myself by saying what I feel. The only problem that I guess with that I could actually come up with is the fact that if I am really offending and hurting people, I don't want to do that. I might have been bringing up a point for a reason to look at something from a different manner. And so if I've ever offended you, I apologize because like we talked last week, I just found out, you know, like texting K is insulting, you know.
Insulting. Lisa says, you know, I do that at times as well. Not a criticism, just curiosity and a seed planting for thought. Well, keep your seed planting for your own goddamn show.
No, I like that. I like the fact that
there is a gray area. I like someone, but don't like some of the things they do.
What is it?
Yeah, I think Drew's on his own show.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is, if I like someone, but I may not like some of the things they do. So there is gray area in there.
Well, there is always a gray area, but I mean, what you bring up potentially,
yeah.
I mean, you're not going to like everything about everybody. I mean,
Lisa
that's
did
just
an
impossible.
experiment. Now, did you have a white lab coat on for this?
And
the result was finding out how many people I valued their views so much, and they had no thought of me. Ooh, interesting. Yeah. And what were the outcomes to that? And that's a lot of it. That's why I say, sometimes you value somebody's view of you that when you look in the mirror, you see that, and they could give two shits about you. Right.
Yeah.
Two words for Scott, Shayna says, is if I can click on it, I'm trying. 2 words for Scott that will help transition from I'm sorry, I feel, is the get out of jail free phrase.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
I've been working on trying to use that because I don't normally say how I feel. It's just what's coming out of my mouth. And it actually, when you do use those 2 first words instead of I'm sorry, it can defuse a person. Right? I'm sorry, I feel, or this made me feel, which I'm just getting in touch with my feelings as a 19-year-old. So,
yeah,
with
all due respect, right? You can't just say with all due respect. Drop whatever. Right.
You love it. You love that one when someone says it with all due respect. You're like,
Geneva Connection.
Yeah. All right, bring it on. When you hear those first open up a conversation, be like, oh, this is going to be interesting.
Or
hey, with all due respect,
or it's like
you're a total douchebag, but I love you.
Yeah. Or no offense.
Yeah, no offense.
You are an asshole. No offense. Don't want you to take this the wrong way, dickhead.
Yeah. No offense, but you're just a total.
I use my experience has shown me. Yeah. I'm a debate queen, and that phrase shut me down. I hate that. Oh, this is that phrase of I feel. Yeah, that's a hard one to cut. Well, for somebody who is an educated person that has the ability to think for themselves, yes. Otherwise, the I feel just on social media is just a tee up for everybody. Punch me. Here we go.
So the I feel shut you down, or the I'm sorry shut you down?
Yeah, you can't fight feelings.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, you can't find other people's feelings. Yep. And you can't control them. Some people try,
but again, if how many times throughout the day do you look in the mirror?
Not a whole. I mean, rear view mirror, but no, not. I mean, like the car, but not at the home.
Twist it to you?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No. The only reason I look in my rear view mirror is because I've been in 3 accidents in my life, and every one of them I was sitting still at a stoplight and got rear-ended. So my eyes are glued to my mirror, especially on my motorcycle. The motorcycle, always around that. But not looking back at what happened.
I don't know what getting rear-ended has to do with looking in a mirror.
Well, you said when I was looking in my car mirror. I mean, for me, it's morning time. Get up. I look in the mirror. Try to pump myself up.
What if you say, "I feel you are a douchebag"? Is that a freebie?
Yeah, it is a freebie because you have the right to feel how you feel.
And
I might not agree with it, but yeah, honestly, if you say that I feel you're a douchebag, well, that's my right to feel that way. You might not agree with me, and that's one of those ones that, hey, you know what?
Jeez Louise, look who just brought himself.
I figured I'd get off my own show and then jump on this show.
Always your show, feel the feelings.
In the Italian words of life, we say not for nothing. Not for nothing, but you're an idiot. So the mirror conversation is one of my favorite conversations because there's so many different ways to look in the mirror. One of them is you're going with the mindset of where are my flaws, and then there's times where you're going in there to be like, hey, how does everybody else see me, or do I look good today, image wise? So I guess it depends on where you want to really start. Is it daily? Is it monthly that you really look in the mirror to find yourself? Who's looking back at you? Are you true to yourself in your own mirror? That's why having good friends And that's what I was trying to say in my text is when I have many friends that I will be lifelong friends with, but I don't like what they do. So it's just one of those things, but I will tell them that. And then, if they can't reflect on it, that's fine. I will never say, hey, Kent, you're a good friend, but if you don't like me, you can never come to my house. I will never say, everybody's got their people in their life. Yeah, he might be an idiot, but he's my idiot. When you're
You've
a friend
talking to my wife,
you're a friend for life, regardless if you like what I say or don't like what I say. I will like you and I will back you. I might not like the things that you do, but I will be there to help you. Because that's how I do. That's how I look in my mirror.
well, you like you like the person for who they are, not what they do. Right. So I mean, you're liking the person for who they are and what they stand for, not necessarily the actions or the comments that they do. I mean, because we all do dumb shit and we can't like everything about everybody else. But for me, it's at the core, right? You like that person and they're going to be friend for life for certain reasons, right? But there's things that they may do that's just the way they are, and you kind of let that.
Well, right. So it's not an on and off switch here with me. It's not like, well, I don't like you, or if you don't like me, you don't ever have to come to my house. You don't have to like me. I'm still going to like you, and I'll still be in your corner if you need me. It's just a perception of the moment. What kind of person are you versus what they are, right? True friendship and true love sometimes is when it really sucks. That's really the determination of how you judge it. If it's happy fun time all the time, well, everybody be happy all the time. It just doesn't work that way.
But you said something a little bit earlier I'm going to go back to, and you're like, you look in that mirror to try to find yourself. Right?
Yep.
So that was an interesting phrase that you used. So is that what people are doing? Is when they're looking in a mirror and they're gazing at themselves, are they trying to find themselves? And who's looking back at you when you're looking?
Well,
right.
For me, some days you are looking at that person and maybe trying to find yourself. Other day you might be looking at, your physical, what you look like, right, going out into the world and how you're presenting yourself. And you're putting on the persona, right, that might not really be you because that's the business you have to do. But the days that you're looking at it going, who am I? Why am I doing this? Right. That's the one that, you're looking into your own soul, right, and trying to figure out, am I on the path of where I want to be or what I thought about?
And I've never looked in the mirror and go, who am I? Am I doing the right thing in life? That's never been a question.
So when I look
in the mirror,
when you have big life decisions to make, obviously you talk to your significant other, but there's sometimes, I'll stare in the mirror and go, is this what you want? Is this where you wanted to be? Are you becoming the person that you wanted to be, or somebody that you would be proud of? I pride myself on trying to do the right thing, right? And there's days that I know I don't, and I haven't, and I look in the mirror and go, fuck, man, like, really?
So, the metaphor of the mirror is self-reflection. To look at oneself doesn't mean you need to look in an actual mirror to do that. Sometimes people nudge you into the direction of you reflecting upon yourself to self-improve. It's personal development, right? So not all the time is it, hey, I wake up in the morning and I look in the mirror and then what do I see? It's a metaphorical term for, hey, reflect upon yourself to find out where maybe your flaws are and how do you grow and how do you grow moving forward. If that takes looking in an actual mirror, great. Sometimes your mirror could be your best friend, your spouse, whatever can help you. Maybe it was a situation that you were in and someone said something to you like, hey, you're an idiot. But you're like, hey, man, I've done that before and people said that to me before. Let me think back and go, what am I doing that's creating this image? And how do I change it? Or am I happy with being that way?
That sounds like what Don is saying. When he looks in the mirror, I ask the guy questions. Am I living as the guy in the mirror says he wants to live, for example?
It's nearly impossible for somebody at least I feel it's nearly impossible for you to actually look in the mirror and not, it's very revealing, right? Like you can't lie to yourself when you're looking at yourself in the mirror. I mean, if you're not looking in the mirror, you can kind of convince yourself in the head that things aren't necessarily as they may be. But if you're staring yourself in the mirror and you can't, for me, I can't be dishonest. I can't look in the mirror and go, I did something really fucked up today and go, you did a great job, dude. You know what I mean? For me, it's one of those things that I can't lie to myself, especially if I'm looking in the mirror. I can kind of play with it a little bit if I'm not looking in the mirror. But if I'm looking at myself, truly looking at myself in that mirror, and I'm trying to, change things and distort the reality, it doesn't work. You can't do that if you're really viewing yourself and staring physically at a mirror. The self-reflection, yes, that's what it is. You're looking at yourself and what's coming back at you. What are you throwing out in that world? What comes back? What are people seeing? But for me, it's very powerful to look at the mirror, and I can't be dishonest with myself. It definitely makes me think deeper and deeper into things than I probably would if I was just sitting in a chair.
Yourself, you already know that you're being dishonest with yourself. You know what I mean? So that's already internal. Like if you look at the mirror and you tell yourself a lie, you already know it's a lie. You could try to convince yourself all you want. But
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that doesn't change. It's usually a trigger from somebody else saying something to you.
Yeah. Shannon says, if I need serious advice or to emotionally regulate, I will look deep into my own eyes like I would someone who loves me. Yeah. And see, Drew, you went with the metaphorical mirror, but I was like, I'm the real mirror. I'm like, when I look in that mirror and, brushing my teeth, whatever, right, is who's looking back?
Well, I don't think, and for me, I don't think a lot of people actually, once again, this is how I feel. I don't think a lot of people actually take the time, because I think it's a pretty powerful exercise. I forget what book I was reading a while back, but it was one of those ones that said, hey, try this, stare at the mirror, think this, like you can't be dishonest with yourself looking at a mirror, right? Because you're bullshitting yourself. So you've got to really dig deeper into it, other than just, yep, it is what it is, accept it, moving on. If for me, it's allowing me to, I guess, really hold myself more accountable, because this is, it's a one-on-one between us, right? And us as being me and myself, and the dude in the mirror staring back at me saying, that wasn't right, or why'd you do that? Or, you are a great person, depending on what thoughts are running through my head. But it's for me, it's a very powerful experience when you do that, because it wakes you up. You might not like what you see for whatever reason, but that person looking back at you, you have that opportunity to change, potentially what you're thinking or what you're doing.
The metaphorical mirror is the actual true mirror. I
don't know about that one.
Let's agree to disagree.
Woo! Should have a show on that one.
Here's why. I'm talking about the real mirror. Yeah, I mean,
Shana says we're all a little ugly.
Yeah. Now the unfortunate thing is, because of our hashtag pocket computers, and the social medias that are out there, I have to look at everybody else's fucking mirror.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You don't have to do anything.
You
choose to do it. Every time you get on your phone and look at things that has the social media and stuff, you're choosing to do it. I get in some respects people do it for business and stuff, but that's a choice. Everything we do every day is a choice.
No.
Yes.
Listen, if I go on to social media, yes, I choose to go on to social media. I don't need a selfie of Scott looking me in the mirror with some sort of fucking filter, because you want 25 people to go, oh,
I want you to like me.
You look beautiful, buddy. So don't say it's a fucking choice. It comes up. It's not my choice.
Yeah, it's a choice to go on, or you can scroll by it, but
You're right, but you see it.
Right. So, instantaneously. Right.
Guess why they do all the subliminal bullshit at movie theaters?
Right.
That's not a choice.
I love it.
To throw that shit. It's not a choice. Right. I don't need you and your wife. I'm just saying you.
I
don't need somebody and their wife who have a miserable relationship or are begging for people to love them to go, oh, you guys are great. Oh, I love you guys. Oh, you're the man. Way to go.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, right? So now you've taken your mirror and you've spit it all over me, and I think you're a douchebag for it, right? I don't need that shit.
Oh yeah, nobody
Right.
needs that. I mean, that's the people are judging themselves based off a lot of stuff that they're seeing on the internet, and how they,
Speaking of
how they feel people are perceiving them.
I would like
I
to
mean,
hear
unfortunately,
how-
perception becomes a lot of reality.
I heard Pornhub pulled out of Texas. What happened, Don?
I love this show.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about looking back in the mirror. Pornhub. Oh, whoa.
Yep. I'm not that deep, Lisa. I just literally, there's always somebody looking back at you. But now I have to look at everybody else's mirror when you're having a bad day in your search. I don't understand why there's so many grown ass adults out there, men that to take a selfie and put it out there. Women, I understand that they're really searching for people to love them, and
I think that's more of an insecurity thing that they're putting that right. They're looking for those likes and loves.
Every time I see that, I go, "What a douche!" Right? It's just like, go out, go talk to a therapist. And
I was going to say some of those people are searching big time and looking for some help, right? And it's almost like a cry for help. Look at me, look how good I am. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's like. For me, I was one of those guys. I did share.
And let's throw it out to Lisa. Say, hey, anyone who's judging themselves based on a belief that Facebook lives are real lives. I see clients in person on Sundays.
Yes, Lisa, good. Yeah, for sure.
I love it. I love it more.
10% off.
Yeah, Vincent actually get 15%.
I love a lot. I like how you say, look at me, look at me. I love the ones that are look at me, but don't look at me. Why are you looking at me? But look at me.
I'm going to post my whole life out there, but don't try to judge me.
Right, yeah. right. Look at me. Why are you looking at me?
Yeah. Those, and they're looking for, obviously insecurity, but they're looking for some not justification. They're looking for acceptance, but they're also looking for oh my God. I know it. Yeah. Until
we recognize the need to feel like part of a group, you will continue to be baffled. Yes. Baffled for a long time. I want to discover why people on Facebook have to post a picture of every. Yeah, that as well. I don't understand that either.
Some people just want you to live vicariously through their pictures on Facebook, right? And be jealous. I mean, I think a lot of people put it out there to try to form a little bit of jealousy from other people. Look at me. I
love to confuse Facebook. So I try to screw with the algorithm all the time and see what shows up on my feed the next week. Right? So now that I'm sitting in front of my phone and I said Pornhub pulled out of Texas, I'm very interested to see what shows up on my face. Right?
Latest pullout videos.
Right. Right. I'm excited about
They call that the trucker method, by the way.
This ever want to do a Drew Carey and speak truth to those photos? I don't.
That's a show waiting to happen.
Right. We saw your muffin top. We know you eat.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures of food out there. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now I will say, right, that some of the things that I do on social media as well is because they've got that neat reminder, right? So when something pops up from 9 years ago and I see my little daughter, who's now not a little daughter anymore,
right?
You go, oh fuck, man.
Yeah, stuff like that's cool. Remembering good times is nice. Nice, but I think a lot of these people are just searching for acceptance and insecurity. But I mean, hey, look at me! Look what I'm doing! I'm doing well. I'm doing things good.
And we all know or have somebody on our feed who seemingly has a successful life or whatever, and they're throwing this smear out here. So I think I jumped to like, boy, they're really struggling to find happiness in themselves because
they're posting like crazy.
They're
trying to get everyone involved. Yeah. I mean, that's where I come up with the insecurities, right? I mean, well, they say Facebook is, it's the highlight reel, right? All the good stuff. And I mean, for me, it should be the bad stuff too. it goes hand in hand. If anyone ever is just under the delusion that, you know, these people that post all this shit, their life is perfect and great, you know, it's like they're probably the most miserable people in the world. It's like some of the people you see that like in front of you are just happy, you know, they're always just gleeful, and that, you know, at least I assume a lot of those when they leave that area are, you know, like most of us, they've got issues, but they're trying to push and portray a much happier self than them because they're not happy with people. Right. And but they don't know any other way, and this is how they're coping with it, right? Oh, hey, everything's great, and then they go in the corner and, you know, cry or whatever it may be. So for me, social media is just it's brutal. It's
Lisa says
not
my
reality.
prom pictures showed up yesterday and it made me tear up. Those are nice moments, but do you want to see your drama moment 5 years from now? No, we don't either, right? Speaking of prom, do you know that the village of Huntley has an adult prom?
Well, for like Del Webb?
No, the city. The village of Huntley puts on a prom for adults. So you get to get dressed up and go to the ball with your wife, or
ask out some other girl from around town.
You know, I'm just like, boy, that's weird to me. And wonderful if that you get that, but weird.
That is a little different. I mean, getting together,
upside down pineapple people there
getting together, right? Trying to stay. Are those people trying to stay young? Remember prom? Prom for a lot of people was a shitty time.
Stop. We're past time. Got a shout out to Natural Therapy Wellness Center. Absolutely love them guys. If you need a massage, if you want to feel good about the person that's looking back at you in the mirror, go get a massage. Check them out at www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. And right here, JH Events and Flowers, give them a call. Grab flowers for the person who is sending the selfie out there, and just give them a $5 bundle of flowers, nice bouquet, fresh cut.
Yep.
And go, obviously you needed some flowers today because you posted a selfie of yourself and you are a 40-year-old person. There you go. Here, hope you feel
I just wanted to, I know we're running out of time, but I just wanted to say, Don mentioned that Pornhub was pulled out of Texas, but now he's in Lake Zurich.
Yeah, well,
because they pulled out of Texas.
Shayna said Pornhub did, and Don is in Texas, so
Don didn't comment. He hasn't commented.
Texas today either. Go figure that. What are these fancy galas if not an adult prom? Those are a lot. What I call there's so many of them. People get dressed up like. Everybody got dressed up in the 80s, right? And for the McHenry one. And it was so stupid to me because everybody dressed up like an African-American hip hop person, like a Run DMC. And I'm like, this isn't the 80s that I remember. This guy over here, go out and look at his. He looked like a genie.
I was the genie.
And I go, I don't remember seeing a genie in the 80s. Like
it was.
He's like MC Hammer. I'm like, oh, that was not.
I know. I thought I was pulling it off, man, but I did. It definitely looked like a genie. But you know what? I got
the goatee.
Right. Yeah. I had a good time. I didn't see it until I got there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, which I didn't really give a shit anyway. But I did look like a genie. I had the MC Hammer set up. You know what I mean? The whole gold outfit, the chains, and everything. Feeling all good about myself.
So let me ask you: did you dress like that in the 80s?
Oh fuck no! I did wear parachute pants,
right?
So for the mirror.
So for me, well, you know me. Like for me, I was being my fun, goofy, making a statement self. I'm like, everyone's gonna come in tracksuits. Everybody's gonna come, you know, with their big, you know, gold chains and their tracksuits. I'm like, I don't want to fit in.
It's not the 80s.
Now that's what everyone thought there it was for sure. You know,
out, Drew?
Yeah, we'll see you guys. Everybody have a great weekend. Okay.
All right,
thanks for tuning in, bud. Be good, man.
Got it, man. Take care, guys.
Pick or it didn't happen, Scott. Yeah, we'll post that. Yeah.
Pick it. Oh, it's out there. You go look. If you probably go at the if you go to the McHenry Chamber Facebook page, I think there's some pictures in there. If not, I'll send some out there. I'm not shy. I love it. I was looking good. I was looking tight. I had on the whole fishnet top. I mean,
Lisa, that's what I'm like. 80s were 501 blues, right? Levi's 501 blues rolled up. and you popped your collar with pastels, so you had a
Right.
polo. That's what the 80s and
That
and
Miami Vice.
and mullet.
Yeah.
Right. That's what that was. It wasn't. I mean, that's why I laughed. I was like,
It just gave people a reason to dress like morons. It was a good time though. You missed a really good time.
No, no.
I think you would have enjoyed it.
It chokes me up. Hold on.
Yeah. I think you would have enjoyed it because it was just one of those just jovial, fun, pick on everybody, tease, be.
Alice and I usually enjoy going to those. I don't. I wouldn't have there because that wasn't the 80s. I would have thought it was stupid. A lot of people were stupid. And I probably would have said that like, oh, look, Run DMC. Oh, look, Run DMC.
Well, and that just also shows different people. I mean, people remember things differently.
No,
you didn't remember the 80s as the way they were dressing. You remembered as a 501 blue jeans. You grew up in Iowa.
That's how they were dressed.
Right. That's what you remember as the 80s, right? For me, the 80s was, the start of, at least for me, like the start of, hip hop and all that, to where I started getting introduced to it. And the MC Hammer, that crazy ass outfit, the big hair, the mullets, I had a mullet. I was rocking a mullet in high school, but it was for what they were trying to achieve is just, bringing everyone back, which for me is kind of like whatever, but bring everyone back to when they were younger. It's like, let's just have fun. Yeah,
no, that's how.
Because for the 80s, for most of us that are pretty similar in age, it was high school age, which for a lot of kids, high school is not a good time, not a fun time, right? You're changing, you're growing, and kids are. I said most. You're different than most, Kent. If you haven't figured that out,
I think a lot of people had a blast in the 80s in high school.
I had a blast in the 80s. I didn't really enjoy high school so much, but I had a blast in the 80s. I did a lot of fun things, met a lot of cool people, went a lot of cool places.
Yeah, I don't see you dressing like you dress to ride your dirt bike.
Well, that's true. I mean, they didn't say dress. So they didn't say dress like you dress. They just said it's 80s. Yeah. What is it? 80s boombox.
Yeah, I agree.
Was the thing.
Best decade. It was incredible.
No, I love the 80s.
Since.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, the 60s were cool. The 70s ramping up to it. I think the 80s were the greatest. And then we've been sliding backwards. It's like chutes and ladders, and we're on a forever shoot here. It's bad. So anyway, let's get back to the man in the mirror, or the person who's looking back at you in the mirror. And that's to your point right there. You were like, no, this is what I wanted it to be. This is what I remembered it to be, but it's not. That's so what. Who's constantly looking back at you, and why is it that person that's looking back at you, right? It's hard, and I'm not speaking metaphorical. Drew went with metaphorical. I'm not using the metaphorical piece, right? I'm literally saying a mirror,
right? What you see looking back at you, yeah.
Is it the person that you think you are? Is it the person? I mean, who is it? Who's looking back at you? And sometimes I look and I'm like, "Ooh, there's my dad." Sometimes I'm like, "Ooh, there's my brother." Right? I mean, we kind of all look alike. And
so your perception changes on your mood. One day it's your dad, one day it's your brother. Kind of like what I was saying a little bit earlier. You see different things at different times depending on
it doesn't have anything to do with my mood. I don't think.
You don't think? No, why would you think? Why would you? Just because of maybe what what you're wearing or something like that? I mean, it just you say you see your dad, then you see your brother. I mean, it's a different perception.
Not all in the same second. It's just that's what piece of my mind, obviously, from the glance in the mirror or whatever, goes, huh, it looks like my dad.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I can see that. Right. I mean, that's whether it's the lighting, whether it's a facial feature, whatever.
So let me ask you this: when you look and you say you see your dad, I mean, do you go, why? Do you question as to why do you see your dad? Right? Like, why am I seeing myself?
Because I look like him. Right. Oh, okay.
But the other time you'll say you look like your brother,
and I look
like him too. Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you've met them both.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. I get it. But I'm just, it's like sometimes we see what we want to see, right? You look in the mirror and you see what you want to see, or maybe something that's swirling around in the back of your head, right? And that's going to pull it out. That's the thing of you can't lie to yourself when you're looking in the mirror, right? So why are you thinking about that? Is there a reason it was brought up, you know? Maybe not. Maybe most of the time it wouldn't be. But for me, I'll look at it and be like, why?
You see, but I don't use a mirror for the metaphorical. I don't look in the mirror and go, man, I did good or what, a mirror is a reflection of who I am at that, right? It's a reflection of who I am. And, you can look at a mirror face on and go, and then you can look at a mirror at your profile and go, oh.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
I mean, I use a mirror in 2 different ways, but the way we're talking about today, there's days you look in the mirror, make sure you're looking good.
And that's what I told Drew. No, I literally, I wrote this down as who's looking back at you, not metaphorically. I mean, when you look in that mirror, and it to me, and hopefully next week Matt will help us out a little bit, right? The purpose hunter, and with this topic, right? But to me, and I want to see his take on it because he's written books on purpose and all this good stuff. But I want to see not the metaphorical mirror,
the literal.
I think too much time as we get older, not even older anymore, because now probably 70% of the kids who go to college go, I'm going to major in psychology, right? I think too much of this world is spent in the metaphorical mirror, right? And we stop looking at people and start focusing on issues. And that to me is a problem, right?
You're 100%.
So what I'm trying to say is, who looks back at you, right? I'll be 55 in July, and I'm like, damn, I never imagined I'd be 55. Ever. You know how old 55 is?
Yeah, when we were kids, you'd be like, that dude's old as shit. Now we're this age, and it's like, I don't feel old.
Right? Yeah, there's pieces of me that do. I'm like, oh, shit.
Right. Getting a little worn.
Off topic, but wild. Did you see the VP possibilities, Kenny? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I did see that. We don't talk politics, but I thought that was funny. And you know what? Maybe not a bad move. It's a little crazy, but could get votes. What you see will depend on your state when you are sad, proud, or happy. It says a lot of times I'm pooping when I'm looking in the mirror because the toilet sits there and the mirror is right in front of me. So I'm in a state of poop.
No thanks. But
how you see the physical will appear with different levels of approval.
Right. And that's kind of what I was saying, earlier about what you see depends on your state. Depending on what mood I'm in, you pick apart certain things, different moods, right? If you're in a bad mood and you look at it, man, you're an idiot. Or if you're in a great, you did great, you helped out, what have you. But it just 100% depends on your mood and what you're looking at, and not, for me, not trying to overthink things, right? Like looking into it, and it's just is what it is a lot of times. And I know we love that statement, but it's and me well enough. I will tend to overthink things. So for me, I'll go 7 dominoes deep where most people will go 2 dominoes deep. And so it's one of those things that I'll look and go, whew, but I think it's a good exercise for people to really do. I forget what it was. I got to find that book and I'll put it back on. But there was a book I read, and it was one of the challenges of the book was to be able to stare in the mirror and you asked yourself certain questions. And it was one of those kind of like the 7 levels of why.
Yeah, what is that? What is that when you say Mary or something?
Oh, no. Yeah. What was that one where Mary is staring at you, rubbing it? Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that one. But
and Shana says the feng shui in that bathroom sounds suspect. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know why you'd want to look at
it's
yourself.
It's not a full length mirror. I mean, so like my toilet's here, and then the shower's here, and then right ahead of me is the sink, and over the sink is a mirror.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. That's my toilet's in a separate room, kind of. I don't have to look at myself.
The living room? I mean, why is your toilet?
Well, actually, the guy used to, before I remodeled my house, I had a half bathroom literally in my kitchen.
Listen, and folks,
I watched cooking.
I rode my motorcycle last week in the cold. It given me a bit of a sinus thing. I don't have COVID, so you're fine. Nobody out there is going to get infected.
I do.
It's just it's a sinus infection because there was a lot of cold air that day whipping out.
You don't get sick from being cold.
I didn't say it was being cold. It was cold air being pushed into my lungs.
And that got you sick.
Gave me a sinus infection.
I'm not following it.
Yeah,
No.
just letting you know.
But hey, you know what? You believe what you want to believe.
People listening, I want you to understand. It's not measles.
Why can we spread it now through the microphone?
I want everybody.
We want to share with. Well, we are nice people. We want to share everything with the world.
I want everybody to be safe and understand that you're fine. We're socially distant. So Scott might be screwed. But
you know what? I take what comes my way, and if I was meant to have it, I guess I won't get it.
Yeah, and when I look in the mirror, I like to, measles talk might be politics.
Oh, God.
It could now. It
could be.
Anyway, anywho, and now when I look in the mirror, there's some times where I go, did I see this cat 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Right. Again, maybe something pulls up on social media and it shows me and Spencer and Ashley before we even had Colette and Lucy, and I've got dark hair and a dark beard, and you're like, forgot about that guy.
Too often a lot of people actually do forget about that guy, right? They become that older person of who's reflecting back in their mirror and not trying to hold on to a little bit of that inner child, which I feel is very important, holding on to that innocence and that, and that purity.
Tune in Sunday to Living Outside the Box at 9 a.m. with Lisa Affluent. She's going to be talking about that inner child this week. It'll be a good show.
That will be.
That'll be a really good last week, but because of this, I woke up with a bit of a
little snifflers,
bit of a thing, and I'm like, I don't want to get you sick. So I'm over it now. It's just getting rid of it.
Yeah. It's going around right now. It's not a huge
but it's
deal.
but I think there's a ton to think about, and I love the conversation today because a lot of it went towards the metaphysical when I indeed was saying, no, when you look in the mirror, who's looking back? Right. Michael Jackson has the song, I'm starting with the man in the mirror, right? If you want to make a change, right? But who is that person in the mirror? Is it who you thought it would be at this point, in your life?
I think it's Metallica also has that song. Is it Mirror, Mirror on the Wall? I mean, it is.
You can chop your breakfast on a mirror. I think it's Master of Puppets.
Is it? Okay, maybe I'm not really good at that.
That's a whole different thing if you're in Miami.
I think, and I challenge a lot of our listeners, or all of our listeners, actually, if you haven't done it, to actually, take some time today or in the next couple of days and actually just, 5 minutes and just stare in the mirror and, challenge yourself to really question what you see and if you like what you see, because a lot of times people will lie to themselves as to what they see and what their perception is, because they feel that's what everyone else, or they want everyone to see what they feel everyone's seeing. It is a humbling experience to stare back at yourself and to not in the metaphysical, but just literally, what do you see? Are you the person that you wanted to be? Are you doing the things that you want to do? Would you be proud of yourself? Those are questions I've asked myself. Am I proud of myself?
Yeah, and I think perhaps we don't take enough time to just look at ourselves.
Well, you're 100% right. No, because everyone else is looking at everyone. I'm sorry. I feel a lot of people are looking at other people's lives, because I'm big on the ever, always, and the nevers, and the definitive statements. And for me, it's one of those things that there's so many people out there who are uncomfortable with themselves when they look in their metaphorical mirror, that they spew it out there on, they need the likes, they need the thumbs up, they need you look great, girl, you look great, guy, I'm so proud of you, you've come so far, right? And listen, that's a big thing on the internet right now.
If Eric Mason is listening, buddy, it hurts, man, and I don't know what you're going through, but life sucks sometimes. And if you need anything, let me know. His dad passed away, right? And everybody's like, "Oh, prayers for you," blah blah blah. And I'm like, this. I just go, "Fuck, this sucks. Shitty day. Shit."
Oh, I know. It's my best friend of 52 years. His mom passed. I'm going to the wake tomorrow, and that's.
But everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." You're not sorry. right? You're sorry probably that he has a hole in his heart now, but listen, it sucks. It's hard, right? And that's what I said. And I've been thinking about you, Eric. Love you.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, bud. Yeah, if you need anything, reach out. There's nothing we can do except just
I don't
really
know.
be here. Just be here if you need someone to just stare at. You know, like with my buddy, I said, dude, I don't know what you're going through. I hope I don't know what you're going through for a long time, but you know, I'm here no matter what you need, right? If you just need to call me an asshole, hit me, whatever is going to help you, you know, process this a little bit better, you know, because I don't know.
Listen, we're going to continue the mirror talk next week. We got Matt Barafato is going to be coming in, spending some time with us. Just get a guy who is understands people's purpose in life. So we may go a little bit more metaphysical, but I'm going to challenge him to not go as well. As you know me, stick around. We've got some great shows coming up. We've got the digital boss board with Bobby Bainey and Think Big Go Local. Today they'll be talking a lot about the dead web designer. And we've got a cool, if you own a small business in the know with Steph and Joe at 3, they're going to have an expert on about how to build your company's credit and look at loans and lines and things like that. So good stuff coming around. So stick around and you know, tune in on Sunday morning as well for Lisa's show, Living Outside the Box. We're going to talk about some inner children.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We love all your input. We love the fact that you come and share with us every Friday or every day here at 216 Net. We certainly appreciate everything you guys do. And, you know, over here at DDOE, it's a daily dose of encouragement. And if we can help you out in any way, shape, or form to just look at things differently, make a change in your life, or help someone else look at things differently, make a change in their life, that's what it's all about, because helping each other in this world, guys, is really paramount. You know, it's just be the person you want to be the changes you want to see in this world. Go out, love everybody. I enjoy speaking with you guys every Friday, and I thank you for all your input and hope to do this with you guys many, many more years. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a wonderful Friday. This is Giles and Jones tuning out.
Oh, and Shayna, I always tell the kids nowadays that the mall is Amazon in a building.